Hi, everybody. We're Larry and Tiz Huch, and welcome to today's broadcast. Now, listen to me. Every Christian, Tiz, knows this verse, 2 Corinthians 10:4.
Yes.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for the pulling down of strongholds. Now, God is saying two things. Number one is there's going to be a battle, whether it's for your finances, whether it's for your family, whether it's for your marriage, there's gonna be a battle. And the battle that we're fighting is not flesh and blood, but it's principalities and powers and rulers of darkness. In other words, it's a spiritual battle. But then he says, the weapons that he's given you to destroy the enemy are not of this world, but they are supernatural. Now, it's not a coincidence that you're watching today, because we're going to show you a phenomenal, supernatural, powerful weapon that God is going to put in your hands today, and most of you have never even heard of it. Stay tuned. Your world is about to change. You know, when we talk about the weapons of our warfare, and we begin to talk about these things as God has taken us back to the Jewish roots and reading the Bible through the eyes of a Jewish Jesus instead of a Protestant Jesus, we begin to see things, and you and I and our family and our church or ministry, and many of you have begun to learn that we have supernatural weapons that God has given to us. And let me explain this, that the religion on purpose many, many years ago pulled us away from our Jewish roots. But in these last days, we're going to return to our Jewish roots. And so today we're going to talk to you about the shofar. And it's not a coincidence that we're talking to you about the shofar today, because we're going into the month of Elul, which is the Hebrew month of return. And so we're going to show you something that is absolutely supernatural. But we want to combine it with not just showing you the Jewish roots of the Bible and of Christianity, of Jesus, but we want to do it so that your heart returns not just to the teaching, but to the people and the land of Israel itself. Because God says, return unto me, Malachi, and I will return unto you. And we'll explain that. That's all about our heart coming back to the things of God. But one of the things that the church has to do, what you need to do, is let your heart return to the land of Israel, to the land of our Jewish brothers and sisters. And that's why we want to show you this segment. Pat and Shirley Boone, Shirley called you. Just kind of tell them a little bit about that.
So like about a few months ago, we got a phone call that she wanted to get a hold of us, gave us the number, we called them back. We didn't know them. We'd met Pat one time, but had no idea, as they began to share, that they watch our program every day and follow what we're teaching. And they, in their lives, have been big supporters of Israel, fought for the causes, fought for the land, fought for the people, incredible things. And they had an idea that they thought was the Lord, which is what brings us to today.
And so you're going to see an interview. Tiz and I went and did an interview in Pat and Shirley Boone's home. And I want you to watch this. And our prayer right now is that the spirit of Pat and Shirley Boone and their love for God, their love for Jesus, and their love for Israel will come right through this camera into your home and into your life.
I had not written any songs to speak of, and I just thought, well, if I get an idea for a lyric and submit it to a good lyricist, then maybe I'll get words I can sing. So it was Christmas Eve.
Oh my gosh.
And Shirley was saying, Pat, please, let's get these presents under the tree so we can go to bed, you know. We may have to assemble something. I said, honey, look, I'm just trying to get an idea. I'm going to play this record one more time, the Ferranti Taisha record. I put the needle down on the record, bum, 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 bum. And the word just popped in my head, this land is mine.
Oh, my goodness.
And I thought, that's the whole story of Exodus. This land is mine. Bum, 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 ba, bum. God gave this land to me. And I thought, wow, and I'm getting goosebumps now as I say it.
I am too.
And I said, I got to write this down while I don't forget. I grabbed something that was white that I could write on a pen, and I started writing words. Da 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 da. So when the morning sun reveals her hills and plains, I see a land where children can run free.
Oh my goodness.
And so take my hand and walk this land with me, walk this golden land with me, though I'm just a man. When you were by my side with the help of God, I know I can be strong to make this land our own. Until I die, this land is mine. I'm writing as fast as I'm getting it from listening to the melody.
But I'm hearing over and over. He's starting that record. And I'm going by saying, "You're missing all the fun of Christmas, honey."
Yeah. So
and he's writing one of the most famous songs in the world.
And when I finished writing, I crossed out a couple of words and put something else in with a ballpoint pen, and I turn it over, and it's a Christmas card. Of course, I mean, they were all over the place, so I just wrote on the back of a Christmas card.
Goodness.
So then,
the only white space.
So we get it written out, and we submit it to the publisher, and almost immediately, the word comes back from Otto Preminger and that composer. Yes, these are the words.
Oh my goodness!
These are the words. So of course, the record turned out very well. It was already a hit instrumentally, so my record did not become as big a hit vocally as the instrumental had already become. But I began to sing it then in all my shows, starting in 1960. So when I sang it in Israel at my first ever concert, and only concert I've ever done, in March of this year, and I'm singing it to the sold-out crowd in the Bronfman Theater, and it had been going very well, and they were singing, to my amazement, the words of some of my hit songs. I was worried they wouldn't even remember or know them, but they were singing the words too, the audience. So now we get down to, and I say, I want to close with this song. I say, now, I am 81, and I want to sing it the best I can possibly sing it for you. So I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to step here to the side and watch as I sing this from Masada, overlooking the Dead Sea.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to watch a younger Pat Boone sing this song for you. And so it was on the big screens, and they watched me sing it as the helicopter flew around that we had hired.
You had sung it from Masada.
From Masada.
Oh my goodness.
With a helicopter coming in and out and around while you can see me from an aerial view. I'm standing on top of what was King Herod's palace, and you see the Dead Sea all around, and where the Roman soldiers had put the ramps up and finally attacked the last Jewish survivors there on top of that mountain.
Where all the military take their oath.
Yes.
When I get to, until I die, this land is mine, and I hold it out a long time, and the audience just, they went nuts. They stood, they applauded until they got tired of applauding, then they start stamping their feet.
You know, Pat was saying on that piece, and as we were watching it here in the studio, that he said, I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there, we're all getting goosebumps, and even watching it right now, we got goosebumps. It almost brings tears to your eyes.
Goodness.
You know, we really are praying that the love that Pat and Shirley, that Tiz and I have, Pat and Shirley Boone are the real thing. They are the real thing. They love God with all their heart, and they love Israel and the Jewish people around the world. They are just magnificent Christians and magnificent friends. And that's why when Shirley called and said they would like to offer our ministry the song that Pat wrote, Exodus. And Exodus, to the Jewish people, is their number 2 national anthem. Besides the Israeli national anthem, the song Exodus is the number 1 song to Jewish people around the world. And it's saying what we as Christians are saying by helping the hospital in Haifa and the school with the kids, and in our program for feeding Holocaust survivors. This land is your land.
Yes.
God gave this land to you, the Jewish people. And if there's ever been a time that we as Christians in America and around the world, in Australia, all of our Christian partners in Australia and in Switzerland and England and all over the world, it is, if there's ever been a time for you to stand up right now and hear the sound of the shofar and blow the shofar. You know, that's one of the reasons why we want to get these in your hands. I know this is beautiful. It looks great on your mantle. But you need to really blow it.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, I'm going to blow it every day. We'll talk about it in a minute. I'm going to blow it every day during the month of Elul, and we'll give you instructions on that. But I want you to blow it with me. And can you imagine, Tiz, if we're all blowing, blow the trumpet in Zion, blow it, literally shouldn't say trumpet, it should say shofar. Blow the shofar in Zion, sound the alarm. If all of us, man, I feel the Holy Ghost, if all of us are blowing the shofar together around the world, saying what Pat said in this epic song, this land is your land. God gave this land to you.
Yes.
And we've got actually the DVD with Pat singing this from Masada.
Yes.
And you know the story of Masada. I don't want to get into teaching that right now. But these things are powerful. You know, the weapons of our warfare. And when we come back from a break, I'm going to teach on the shofar. But we've also got a hand washing cup. Matter of fact, this one is beautiful. It's the nicest one I've ever seen. It's called Al Natilat Yadaim. It is it's a form that you do daily baptism. You wash your hands instead of going into the mikvah. You know, come Yom Kippur, we're building right now in Dallas, we're building a mikvah.
Right.
So, because the Bible teaches us that at least once a year, going into Yom Kippur, we need to go into the mikvah.
Yeah.
It's called being born again. That's what it's called in Hebrew, and I don't have time to teach that today. And so we want to encourage you to come out, and we're going to do a huge on Saturday going into Yom Kippur, a baptismal. And as a matter of fact, I'm going over to Israel to get water out of a brand new mikveh that they just discovered where Jesus taught. They all know he taught there, and he would have gone into this mikveh. And though it's not open to the public, but they're allowing me to go in there and get some water to bring it into our mikveh. So we want to invite you to come and do this. But I do the hand washing before I came out here today. I do the hand washing. Why? Because it breaks the contact we've had with this world of failure, and it releases us into a supernatural realm. So the weapons of our warfare, they're not carnal, but they are mighty in God, and you need to have them in your hands. We'll be right back.